Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto, and there's a lot to unpack today. As usual, you know what I mean? There have been some down news days and there have been some regular news days. This seems to be a very up news day. Basically because a lot of things that happened yesterday, a lot of controversy going around. So let's start with the SEC and FINRA approving Prometheum. I told you about this back on June 15th. That's a long time ago. And the idea was that they approved this new company from out of nowhere to be a crypto broker dealer. And the controversy wasn't the fact that they got approved so damn quickly. The controversy is over the fact that how did they get approved and all these other companies that have been trying to work with the SEC and FINRA didn't get approved? Huh. How did that happen? Oh well, there's rumors that there are former NYSE and SEC, people that are involved, and there might be some relationships that are involved, and that's what we're looking at right now. So I'm sitting back and I'm kind of saying to myself, well, kind of par for the course, right? Unfortunately, our friend Gary Gensler went on Capitol Hill and got hammered. He got absolutely hammered for that approval. And lawmakers are clamoring for the documents behind the approval. That could shape up to be a major problem. And I said it back, like I said, go back to my video on June 15th. I said it then, and I'll say it now. That's going to be a big problem for Gary Gensler. He's going to have to, figure that one out. And frankly, I don't know if he can, right? Now, my history with crypto started with, a few coins. There was Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Stellar. There's more, but let's stop there. Stellar and Ripple had been going back and forth for ages, right? Similar tech. That's what's up. But now I'm hearing that, Stellar has invested in MoneyGram. And I find that crazy. And the reason why is because, let me just check my notes real quick. Yeah, way back in May of last year. Let me give you the exact date, May 30th of last year, in case you want to go back and look at the video. May 30th of last year, I said, I think that the end is coming for companies like MoneyGram. And the reason why was clearly crypto. Well, MoneyGram made a series of moves, going online in Brazil. That's why that whole going online thing in Brazil, that was why there were so many rumors that maybe Ripple was behind helping them accomplish that. So to see Stellar investing in MoneyGram right now just seems crazy, right? Now, the differences between the two projects, in my humble opinion, is Ripple is clearly going after institutional investment, government, investment, all that kind of stuff. Whereas Stellar has always been for the common man. Hence, the investment in MoneyGram, who already has a footprint around the world, right, is, kind of makes sense. And I'm just like, wow, that's going to be interesting. Like, what's going to be the new business model? But mind you, Stellar didn't just make an investment and that's it. Stellar got a seat on the board, so it was a big investment. So I'm gonna be watching that. That one I find to be very interesting. I think that one's gonna have long legs. Voyager. If you're wondering, you're probably mad at me because I had said that yesterday was going to be a big news day. Shiba Inu, in my humble opinion, was going to blow up. And it should have. In my eyes, it should have. You want to know why I didn't? Voyager dumped 1.5 trillion SHIB. They dumped 1.5 trillion SHIB. Now, you dumped it on the day that they were supposed to have major news. That's called perfect timing. Right? And I'm just saying, it seemed like it was done on purpose. And stupidly, if you think that you're liquidating your assets so that you can grow your fiat, I would have, if it was me, I would have waited until after the news hit, let the price spike, and then slowly drip that sell off. That's what I would have done. But that's just me. And that's why I think that, the selling of all that of all that SHIB on the specific day to affect specific timing for those press releases. Yeah, that's a little sus. That's a little sus to me. Something else that is unfortunate that happened. As you know, Digital Currency Group, DCG, owns CoinDesk. You also know that DCG has money problems. They're fighting the fight against Genesis over that whole, staking problem. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think they need to, build up their cash reserve to fight that fight. Well, looks like CoinDesk is on the chopping block. 45% of their staff got pink slips of their editorial staff. I mean, I never understood the idea of saying editorial staff. That's your staff. So that's painful to think about. 45% of your staff, going out there having to pound the street, find another job. That sucks, right? But it does tell me that what I'm saying about, DCG is you're selling CoinDesk because you need the money. You're fighting, Gemini because of Genesis. That's what I should have said. I didn't say it clearly before. That's what I'm talking about. So that's a major problem, right? I do hope all those people find new jobs, and I don't like to hear about people losing their jobs. Something else that happened I think a couple of days ago, but I knew it happened, but there was too much other news that I wanted to talk about. But finally, I'm getting to it. RocketSwap, a decentralized exchange that was built on Coinbase's Base Layer 2 protocol, was attacked for 471 ETH. 471 ETH. That's about $870,000, right? I just sat there and I said, "Wow, that's big." Now, they said, I'm going to read my notes. RocketSwap said the attack occurred due to a series of deficiencies, including offline signatures. Now, I'm not involved in RocketSwap or whatever, but when a business says that there were a series of deficiencies, I question whether or not, I would ever do business with them. Base hasn't been around that long. Your project hasn't been around that long. Did you launch too soon and should have gone through more checks and balances, right? Gone through more risk and controls, more risk and control processes. Yeah, that's what that points to. So I think they're going to have an uphill battle, because PeckShield found it out. PeckShield, in case you don't know, is literally a world-renowned blockchain security firm. I've done other stories involving PeckShield, but they found other things. So I really do like that company and what they do and what they're all about. So when I hear that PeckShield did something, I take it as, oh, better pay attention. So I'm looking at this and I'm just going, wow, a series of deficiencies, not one or two, a series of deficiencies. If you are working on a project, do me a favor, take a step back, hammer on it. Hammer on it before you release it. Don't be in a rush, because all it takes is something like this and it'll ruin your company's name. Anyway, you know what we should do? We should take a look at the numbers. So let's get to that. Alrighty, as you can see, everything is a big bright red, and no, we're not happy about it. But we are still trading within a range if you look at some of these coins, but not Matic. Matic took a plunge downward. XRP took a plunge downward. Solana, Doge, VeChain, HBAR. HBAR is probably a sell-off because people are profit taking, off that great news that happened. SHIB, I believe, gained back another zero. Yeah, it's not going to tell me here. I hate when it does that. They really should. They round up to that last zero. This one right here, and I know it's below that. I know for sure it's below that. Let me get you a real number. Because it's going to annoy me that I don't know the number. SHIB is trading at they're trading at 9859, not 1. So they added back another zero. So instead of 4 zeros, they're back down to having 5 zeros. I do think that zero is going to get shaved. That zero is going to get shaved again, and you'll see upward momentum. And the reason why is because the Shibarium launch date, which I don't have handy on me right now, was actually announced. So that's going to be more positive news in the future. So I think that's still a good thing. Like I said, we're still moving in a lateral pattern. We're a little bit lower than where we had been right there, but we're just bouncing around trying to figure it out. Again, I think that there are going to be catalysts coming that are going to bump us up. Grayscale being denied their spot Bitcoin ETF should not have been a surprise to anybody. I said this yesterday. They're currently suing the SEC because they had not, they've done futures ETFs, but they haven't done spots. You knew that they were going to kick the can down the road. So they weren't denied. The can got kicked down the road again. So it looks like the SEC, for no reason whatsoever, is just going to stick to their maximum 240 days before they tell you yes or no. But let's think about who's on the docket. Just look at all the companies that are on the docket having, applications in for Bitcoin spot ETFs. Imagine having to get sued by all of those companies, some of them with hugely deep pockets. Yeah, that would not bode well for the SEC. So I'm still confident that that's going to happen. TVL, total value locked, is still at 53 billion. Sorry, it has been bouncing between 53 and 55 billion for a while. Go a little bit further, it's been 57, but really it's been between 53 and 55. Hoping to get that back up. Back in the day, you can see it was way up there, right? That's what we're hoping for at some point. We'll see what happens, but you can see that precipitous fall right there. We'll see what happens. I think total value locked is going to start to come up, but that's going to happen when we get a catalyst and we see the whole market move up, right? If a Bitcoin spot ETF happens, you're going to see tremendous growth. I think Bitcoin would go clearly within a heartbeat, go over 6 figures. Without that, you still have the halving event, which I still think would make it go, if not into 6 figures, pretty doggone close. I think it would definitely reach an all-time high. So for me, that's what I'm looking for. So my plan is accumulate until that halving event and see what happens, right? Maybe that's when I'll plan a vacation. Fear and Greed Index is at 52. I believe it was 53 yesterday. And it's 52 today, so not much of a change. Anyway, that's Eddie J on crypto. If you have any questions, suggestions, like what I'm doing, don't like what I'm doing, drop me a note. Give me some ideas. Maybe I'm not doing everything right. The project Grow My Bag, which is going to have a social media platform as well as a streaming channel, is coming along very, very well. I'm actually hoping that we'll have, the beginning of it launched to the public sometime next week. And I hope to see all my friends sign up and join in on the conversations and see all the content that we're gathering. Hope you have a good one. Bye bye.